Yeah. Boom. Boom them up with the truth. Throw 'em on.
Oh,
Here we go. We are live in the direct.
greetings,
Live and
greetings.
alive, I should say.
That's
So,
right.
Frank, an honor once again. Today,
Yes.
we're going to look at PT's book, our review of PT's book.
Mhm.
And it's a great honor all the time. Give thanks for life first. I'm alive. I can be here today.
Yes, definitely.
That I'm very grateful. The rest, I'm flexible. What I know is I'm alive and I'm breathing. The rest, I'm very flexible. At least I might not be very flexible with my body, but I'm very flexible with my mind. So I can,
Yeah.
woo, surf the wave of Babylon. So
All
yeah.
right.
Anyway, I'm not gonna start. Frank, we're gonna go today. I think we are at. Did we do blessed?
I think we
Blessed,
did
blessed,
less. Yeah.
blessed, blessed. I don't
Yeah,
know.
be less.
I think we did, eh?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we are at terrified and ashamed.
Yes. Exactly.
So I'll let you do the English and I'll do the French, and then we share our perspective.
Yes. Terrified and ashamed. Terrified and ashamed, two words which the world sees in a negative light. But from LotusOcean perspective, they are essential, as no one can approach divine properly unless they are terrified of their past, and their past repeating, like a Groundhog Day, and of all the hellish possibilities of the future. For behaving humbly with divine, it is also logical and imperative that they are ashamed of their foolishness/actions. Without this understanding, there is no humility to divine and no getting out of hell and hellish, unsatisfactory paradigms.
Okay, I'll put my mic on. So, terrifié et honteux. Terrifié et honteux, deux mots que le monde voit d'un angle négatif. Mais de la perspective de Lotus Ocean, ils sont essentiels, étant donné que personne ne peut approcher le divin correctement, sauf s'ils sont terrifiés de leur passé, et que leur passé se répète comme un manège en enfer, et toutes les possibilités épouvantables du futur. Pour se comporter humblement avec le divin, il est aussi logique et impératif qu'ils soient honteux de leur stupidité et action. Sans cette compréhension, il n'y a pas d'humilité envers le divin et pas de sortie hors de l'enfer et des paradigmes, OK. Épouvantables, insatisfaisants. Paradigm, same thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, fear of Jah, the beginning of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of Jah. Yeah, definitely. If you're not afraid, if you're not ashamed, there's something there. You're not awake. You're not aware anyway enough to realize this, which is
Mm-hmm.
very important. And we made a song about it with Stevie and Daniel. Blame it. Fear, the beginning of wisdom. Fear of Jah, definitely. If you don't approach this with humility, also the humility to admit it that you've lived your life like an idiot. Nothing wrong with that. I've done it. I've said it how many times here. I live my life like an idiot. First of all, never having really goals set for myself first,
Mm-hmm.
like going like a drone robot in the system and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
at one point, I said, okay, I have to put a dream in place. But even that dream often is not enough to make you realize that you're missing a link. There's a missing link somewhere in your puzzle. And that's the relinking to iron divine that's missing through actions that you think often will bring you a closer interaction with God or the divine, but very often it's just within the system. So it's really, if you approach this with, like he said, if you're not terrified and ashamed, there's nothing that will really spring from that, or spring from that,
Mhm.
and really flourish and stuff, because you have to have that humility of admitting that you live your life like an idiot.
Yeah.
You walked around pretending all your life and never really knowing anything worth knowing. Like,
Hmm.
just some nonsense that people have put into your head, and you have all kinds of voices in your head and stuff. So once you calm down a bit the chatter inside, and you start first listen to yourself, listen to your own voice, and that voice is the voice of divine too. So, but often you need other people's voice also to like guide you. I get it, definitely. We all need each one to each one, but that terrified and ashamed feeling has to be there, and each and every day, because that's a bit the gas in the engine.
Yeah.
So if because you don't wake up one day and say, okay, I'm not terrified and ashamed no more. No, you lived all your life ignoring the pure principle of life,
Hmm.
and what suddenly you think you're all you have done your redemption, and it's okay that you can go to another chapter. Like, it's a never ending book that you are writing, because you are rewriting history at the same time. So
Yeah.
anyway, profound stuff. Let me know, Frank, what's your perspective on this?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. A lot of people, a lot of people have like this thing that's no shame, no blame, no guilt. Like you shouldn't feel bad for anything, or like, I mean, there. I guess there's a certain thing to be able to accept yourself, for kind of like who you are, but you shouldn't just like be like, okay, I'm this way, and like I don't have to work to try to improve myself. I mean, I think the argument that I've heard people say, is just that, oh, their depression or their anxiety or their their feeling of shame and stuff like that, just they're like, I'm just paralyzed and I feel like I can't do anything. It's like, well, you have to turn that terrible feeling into actually that is what's motivating for you to get into a better way, into a better way of being, a better life. It is, it's like a biofeedback. We get feelings, all of the negative and feelings that don't feel good, that they're telling you something. They're like, all right, wait, I need to do something. I'm feeling that shame or that guilt, and like we do, like P says, we have to be terrified of our past, of how ignorant we were actually before we knew. Like, it's really important to give respect to nature, to the elements, to divine, to my own body. Like, I need to respect my body. I don't need to just treat my body like a rental car, like a trash heap, you know because this is a gift from divine too. This machine that my spirit is operating through, that I have the chance, opportunity to wake up every day and work to improve myself, work to evolve my consciousness by taking the right actions. This isn't, you shouldn't take this body that you have for granted. No matter what it looks like, you can always work, or whatever you've done, you can work to improve your state. You can work to get closer to divine. That's an opportunity that we all have. And like one of the things that P says, everyone has attention. Everyone with consciousness has the ability to, it's your free will. Where do you want to direct your attention? Because that is going to influence, what actions you're going to take. But it's so true. We really need to, and this P-log too is really just about being honest with yourself, and actually starting to connect the dots of like ignorance. Like there's that saying, ignorance is bliss, and it's a cliche kind of saying, like, and everybody knows it's not true, but it's that's just, saying that like ignoring reality, you're not going to get anywhere by doing that, or ignoring divine. We have to acknowledge divine. We have to acknowledge the energies that support us and that feed us and that nourish us every day. The earth, this goddess that we reside upon. She's such a beautiful mother. We need to talk to her every day and express our gratitude and our love. Say, Mama Earth, I love you so much. Gratitude for feeding me every day, giving me a place to reside, giving me these clothes that keep me warm, providing all these resources through the grace of divine. I'm able to have these things. And so, our life of taking action to evolve is, having this relationship, creating this connection with these forces that support us. Because part of what the current, anti-life society system and everything has done is that it is played a game in which it's tricked us, and it has separated us from nature. It has separated us from divine, and we've basically walked into the trap. We've walked into the spider web kind of thing, where we are, have willingly, taken the poison. We've willingly ate the death, ate all the meats, and ate all the things, and we celebrated all that, and we thought it was cool or whatever, and we need to actually on the path of walking a divine centric life, we need to realize that actually, no, that's not the way, all the things that we've learned and that we are realizing now that we need to change. That's something we don't want to go back to, because if you don't work to change it, it'll be on repeat, and it's gonna, you'll find yourself in the same place or in a worse place.
Merry-go-round. Yeah, and I think that ignorance is bliss. That you were talking the whole time. I was thinking about that.
Right.
It's kind of cliche, yeah, because it's not really true. But I think the only place where I found bliss in ignorance was at the beginning. I think there's got to be
Right.
a moment where you have this sudden, like, rebirth or something like that, and then that bliss happened there out of realizing that you are ignorant, but you don't
Yeah.
stay ignorant. That's the thing.
Right.
You should acquire knowledge and wisdom
Mm-hmm.
as you grow older or whatever. Not even just from the age of 18, from the age of when your brain's starting to mature. You should acquire wisdom and knowledge. But in our society, it's acquiring more distraction. So often you find yourself at 40, 45, that now your children are getting a bit older and you have a little bit more time to think, and you realize, whoop, I kind of missed something. So, yeah, you might want to catch up. So, with those feelings. So definitely. So next is 100% ashamedness required.
Yes. 100% ashamedness required. There's a simple way to get out of hell here and beyond. Be 100% fully, unadulteratedly ashamed in front of divine of one's own actions which kept one in hell. Simple, but still not many here are doing it. When the judgment comes, find the world in shame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's okay. That's the problem. It's the shameless society we live in.
Yeah.
It's wow. 100% de honte requise. Il y a une manière simple de sortir de l'enfer ici et au-delà. Être 100% complètement, ouvertement honteux devant le divin pour ses propres actions qui nous ont gardés en enfer. Simple, mais pourtant très peu ici le font. quand le jugement arrive, on trouve le monde dans la honte. Of course, like it's clear that we live in a shameless society. Like even just all the junk that we promote, and I don't detach myself from that. We all do this together. We all encourage those chips company and all that nonsense that we eat day in day out. So
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to, of course, have it. The stuff. I don't like the word diet. I was going to use diet, but we try to put stuff into our bodies that is supportive of our evolution. Definitely, most of the time, but all of us at times will end up like I think it's the temptation also that gets us, and that's one main thing to resist on this earth. On this earth is the the urge you have with your temptation. That's a big part of the self mastery to
Mm-hmm.
resist those temptations because there's so much, and especially when you find yourself alone, like it's good on the screen but what matters really, what defines your character and who you are, is really often what you do when you're alone.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
necessarily what I do here or when people around me, or it's what I do with my time when I'm alone. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're capable of taking that time and really building something that's gonna at one point help you clear those feeling of shamelessness and stuff, or being recognized at least that you should be ashamed of how you lived and that you have never really praised higher and divine, or give thanks for life. Even giving thanks for life, waking up every day and verbally say, I give thanks for life. That's big because I've never really done it in the past. So today, each day, I'm up and I'm like, ooh, I'm grateful. I'm alive
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
it brings that kind of permanent joy. And that's the permanent joy we should strive to attain, not uh, always stay low in vibration and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
those feelings only come when you're willing to admit and have humility and admit that you have work to do on yourself, a lot of work. All of us, we're all deeply fucked up. So,
That's true.
so yeah, it is, and no one can say that. Especially once you live in a society, like whatever. If you live all your life off of nature and a child born in nature and stuff, maybe different story. But most of us live in cities and society, and so you were all affected by the same madness,
Mm.
circus madness around. So that's the work also of relinking to higher and divine, I think, is to be able to detach yourself from that programming that they want you so much to adhere to, and
Mm-hmm.
be a driving force for the system. You can retract yourself and really find yourself in the process too.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway, it's on you, Frank.
Yeah, yeah. 100% ashamedness required. I love this. He starts it with there's a simple way to get out of hell here and beyond.
Yeah,
So it's really, it is a requirement that we have to be ashamed in front of divine for all of the things that we've done which have been anti-divine. We have to acknowledge. We have to say, I was wrong. Yes.
and imagine if there is something after, how majestic and grandiose it must be. Because
Yeah.
I cannot tell you for sure, but I can imagine that there is. So you want to gamble that and
Right.
really stay ignorant and like, so yeah, to
Exactly.
me
Right.
it's worth the gamble. So I
Yes.
prefer gamble with God than gamble with the devil.
Hmm. Yes. I mean, there's actions have consequences. And so there's like a point system, and so what kind of points are you earning for yourself? Are you earning points that's going to like make that yellow brick road into a higher realm? Or are you earning points that are, burning everything down, and it's going to make it harder for you, where you're trapping yourself, So, but like P says here, that way to get out of hell, get out of ignorance and pain and torture and all those things here and beyond, because, if we stay ignorant, then the points that we're putting in the pot is going to be, okay, that being needs to learn a lesson a little bit more strongly because they're not getting it yet. And so, we don't want like a very intense smackdown, because it will be coming, rest assured, because we can experience it in this life too. It's not like there's a certain, delay in terms of the hell that we face from ignorant actions. But it's instantaneous, in the realms beyond. So, and so, like P says, we have to be ashamed in front of divines of the actions which were anti-divine, and so, like, one of the things I heard P say in another interview was, something that everyone can do is have a conversation with the earth, with her, because she's a being too. She's a goddess, and say, and acknowledge how, you have actually done things that have been anti-nature, anti-divine, that have been, and maybe you've influenced other people too, to, want to be destructive, or just litter something, or, celebrate or consume, or, like really revel in things that were just so artificial and so synthetic, and so kind of like polluting and poisonous to the environment. And so, we need to just acknowledge, like, hey, you know what, Mother Earth, I want to tell you that I know I was wrong, and I don't want to be like that anymore. I want to make a commitment to myself and to everything that's supporting me, that I want to change. I really want to be, I don't want to be that way anymore, because I know that way is not what I'm supposed to do. I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for other beings. I want to be in harmony with the earth, with you, Mother. I want to be in harmony. I want to be a support for whatever little time that I'm left here. I want to do things that are going to be, positive and in alignment with the divine vibe.
And that state of being is very beneficial for you and for everyone around. I mean, like, when you start vibrating on a higher frequency, everything around you will be affected. Same like if you vibe low, everything will be affected.
Yeah.
You will trash the earth, you will trash yourself, you will trash others. So if you start really applying those principles and go on with this with your life, there's great chance that you start to shine like the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
true.
definitely.
So this shame, it's really, it's something that it's really just connecting the dots, and seeing, the mistakes that we've made, acknowledging them, and just being so, sure that, you don't want that anymore. Because like P says, it's as simple as it is, there's a simple way to get out, to be ashamed in front of divine. But he said, still not many are doing it, so everybody needs to start to wake up to that, recognize, that we have to acknowledge our mistakes and our own ignorance, and say, I don't want that. I want to change. I want to be better. I want to work to evolve. I want to work to be closer to divine, you know?
But sometimes the program also runs so deep that we're not even aware of what we should
Yeah.
do here. Like PT says
Very true.
often, being coherent, they don't know what to do. So very often, all your life, you will go on and just pretend you know what to do without ever knowing a single fact worth knowing until
Mhm.
you friggin' lost. So your whole existence an
Yeah.
illusion of what you should be doing.
Hmm.
You know, so the illusion is not so much your rose-colored glasses and stuff, and no, it's you live in an illusion because you pretend to know what to do when all of us were so deeply fucked up and not know what to do. Even me, at times, I seems to be like knowing what to do. There, I find myself often like, fuck, I gotta do something. I gotta what I'm gonna do with my day or stuff or so you find yourself. I keep myself occupied with music and stuff, yeah. But if you have nothing to drive you to that state of staying aligned and stuff, like I do this and other things I do. Uh, to me, it's necessary because it's easy also to fall back into your zombie mode. Lah. That's what I'm saying because the influence around is very heavy, no matter where you live. Like it's not because I'm in Quebec that it's different than USA or Mexico or Brazil or
Hmm.
it's all the same shit stem. Lah. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it is what it is. So yeah.
Yes.
So next is the most important triad.
Yes.
Maybe
The
we can
most,
do this one.
yeah, we'll go with this. The most important triad: honesty, shame, and bowing and service to divine. Real honesty about self's actions and not knowing automatically leads to shame, which in turn automatically leads to bowing to and serving divine, which automatically leads to pleasure, heaven, ascension, higher realms.
Yeah.
Ascension to higher realms. Yeah.
La triade la plus importante, honnêteté, honte, s'incliner et servir le divin. Une honnêteté réelle concernant les actions du souhait et l'ignorance automatiquement mène à la honte, qui à son tour mène automatiquement à s'incliner et à servir le divin, ce qui mène automatiquement à plaisir, paradis, l'ascension vers les plans supérieurs. For sure, it's the most, and that's the longest journey you will ever have to do as a being here on earth is that journey from your heart to your brain, to linking everything,
Hmm.
becoming whole. I think is the longest. So you can go out there, and that's why PT says you can do whatever travel you want, whatever trip you can do in Mount Everest or whatever. If you don't link with Iron Divine, and I
Hmm.
think that's that travel to really speak from your art because your art is yearning to be free. So once you can speak from that art aligned with what's up there, I don't know, there might be like chakra crowns, a crown or a pineal gland, or like there's something up there that
Uh-huh.
brain's not an empty space. So like they pretend like empty space, a vastness, a vacuum. But no, my
Mhm.
brain is not a vacuum. So yeah, definitely, if you can link all this, and woo, you're in business for a
Mhm.
great ascension, like he says, to maybe upper realm and beyond. Like they,
Yeah.
and I prefer take that chance, honestly, to live that way and live a good life of service to Iron Divine and not the evil demiurge system or everything that is anti-life in this world. Like you want to be
Mhm.
pro-life.
Yeah.
So as long as it's pro-life, it's good for life. I'm in. Like If it's
Yeah.
bad for life, I'm out. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be like that for all of us. And I think the honesty and the shame and the stuff là, pour to, like he says here, s'incliner, servir le divin, is absolutely necessary. If you don't have that, first you will also retain a lot of fear, like having the fear of Jah, the fear of the higher and divine will also release the fear of everything that is you should not fear. I don't know if you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because you acknowledge that fear, all the other fears will dissipate
Yeah.
because there's only one thing you should fear, and that's it. All the rest, like okay, grizzly bear, I get it, but go with a gun in the forest, you won't be so scared. Just because you go there with no gun and stuff often, and then or pepper spray, or there's stuff you can take. No, but I mean, if you get scared, I saw a documentary the other day, and the guy, that's what he was doing. He was going in the forest often, but always carrying a gun. You never know, man. The bears, they can jump out, like, come on, Alaska and the wild and stuff. So. Not my case here. I don't think I'll cross a bear in my village, but maybe my own self, because yeah, I'm like a bear. But yeah, anyway, Frank, the most important triad. You told
Yeah.
me something about that. No.
Yeah. Most important triad. Uh, yeah. This first part, I mean, because we were just kind of covering, and this whole kind of theme of shame that P is bringing up here. We see it coming in again, and the shame we don't start with the shame. The first thing that comes is actually like an honest reflection, on the self, an honest reflection on your past. Really looking back, how was I? What was I doing? What kind of things? Well, how did I get where I am now? What have I done? Uh, and so when we can recognize things that we've done that were wrong, that were not supported, it's not supportive of our own well-being, and not conducive to like a positive relationship with the environment, with the earth, with the elements, then we can recognize those actions as that was wrong. We have done things in the past that have prevented us from actually being able to be in higher realms. I mean, that's the whole name of the game in the first place. Actually being born here into this realm, unless you're from the Vedic perspective, an avatar that is coming down from higher realms to come and teach, and then he's going to go back later. Then the way that you get here is that you have shown through actions or lives in the past, things like that, that you're not ready, or you're not prepared. You're not in the state of being in which you can be humble to higher divine. You can be respectful. You can celebrate, praise, and have a continuous joyful type of interaction or existence with the with the elements, with nature, with higher beings. So anyways, coming back to all of us just being here on earth, we have all lived a life, right? We've gotten to where we are now, and kind of this path of evolution, we have to first recognize, okay, where are we? How have we gotten to where we are? We kind of look at our past and we can reflect and see, I've done things that have not been correct, in the eyes of divine. And so that makes us feel a certain way. and that makes us feel like, oh, like I don't like it. It's just a terrible feeling, you know. Just like the first one we read, terrified and ashamed. Nobody likes feeling like, I mean, it's scary. Actually, you should be afraid. You should be afraid of like the ignorance that you've done, because it's not going to take you anywhere good. And, you know, like Pia said too, in other times, he says, you like stay out of hell. It's like, you don't want to go there. And that's for real. Like, you do not want to go. You don't want that. It's bad, you know, unpleasant. It's not fun.
But it's not a pleasant existence. Like your existence will be freaking hell.
Yeah, exactly. And there are bits of life on Earth that are very unpleasant. I mean, there's even ways that the Vedic talks about, like, this actual plane of existence that we're in now. It is like a form of, it's like a diet form of hell or something like that. It's like a hell light or something like that, because we do have to experience, you know, death, disease, decay, and old age. Like, there's all these kind of things that from what they say in the Vedic text, like, those things don't actually exist in higher realms. There's a way that beings are sustained, and you don't have to deal with those hardships, because it's not pleasant. I mean, you know, let's face it, it's not pleasant. If there's somebody that's close to you and all of a sudden they're gone forever, it's kind of hard to deal with, you know, like, that's not fun. It pulls on you, you know? So this whole bit of, you know, recognizing like how we've been experiencing the honesty of like, I don't want to be like that. I want to do something. I want to like work for divine, you know, I want to be in alignment with divine. I want to do the things that divine would be proud or happy of, you know, or that it would approve of, you know. That's the kind of sequence that you get to, you know. You're like, I want to be of service, you know, and that's what P gets to here. Like, when we recognize how out of alignment we've been, how anti-life we've been, then we recognize actually only real happiness, real positivity comes from being in alignment with divine. I want to do that. I want to be of service. And then it makes you want to feel like you want to bow and stuff like that. So
like how we've been, how we are, and how we could be. I think those are important questions.
It's another triad, right?
Yeah.
Been, are, be.
How we are, and how you could be. That's a very interesting one.
Yeah.
If you get out of hell, how are you going to feel? Yeah. The next one is now we're moving to another chapter. It's PTD axis.
Yes.
Definitely, if there is no access to this earth other than, like, they even pretend that there is an access into the ball earth. Like, you cannot tilt the ball. The only way you tilt the ball is if you put an axis, a rod to it, and you put it on the deck. Maybe then you can. No, but you cannot even tilt the ball.
Right.
Like, it's a ball.
Yeah, it's a ball.
There's no side. It's a ball.
Right.
So just the fact that they tell us that it's tilted is just nonsense. What, it's on the desk in outer space. It's like, but the real axis, PT. Yeah. Now we can all relate to this. That definitely an access to this world for many. Many that find him on their path will find light and love, definitely, and that's all you need to grow. The rest is on you. He's not your savior, but he can help you on the, like, he's not responsible for saving humanity, but he's in great part can help you save your own self. So definitely a great access to this world. So I'll let you maybe do Maybe you can do the two first one because it's like P, the letter P, I
Mhm.
think it goes on with. And there's two
Yeah.
texts about it. So just do the two together and I'll read the two together also because I think they kind of go together. P, P.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we can reflect on it.
That's it.
P. When P lays, it's play. When P is arty, it's party. P equals the axis of the multiversal tree. In other words, P is the pole you spin around. What was lost is now being found. P, the letter P is shaped as it is to show that it's the axis. The circle rotates around the central axial line. The letter P in all major languages and cultures always represents axis figures. Pita, father, pati, husband in Sanskrit.
Mm.
Ta, the patriarch in Egypt. President or P resident, the central resident in English. The fact that P happens to be the first initial of LotusOcean Manifestor, PT, is just another aspect of the P perfect fractality. All the turning, T turning, happens around P.
Yeah. So P, P, P. Quand P s'allonge, c'est l'heure de jouer. Quand P est artistique, c'est la fête. P est égal à l'axe de l'arbre multiversel. En d'autres mots, P est le pôle autour duquel vous tournez ce qui était perdu et maintenant retrouvé. P, la lettre P, est formée telle qu'elle est pour montrer que c'est l'axe. Le cercle tourne autour de la ligne centrale de l'axe. La lettre P, dans toutes les cultures majeures et langages majeurs, représente toujours les figures de l'axe. Pita, père, ou Pita, Marie en sanskrit. Pita, le patriarche en Égypte. Président ou P, résident, le résident central, et en anglais. Le fait que P soit la première initiale du créateur de LotusOcean, PT, est simplement un autre aspect que la parfaite fractalité. Toute T-turning, rotation, se déroule autour de P. For sure, PT is an axis, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things revolving around PT, not only his teaching, but I think a lot of people, once you start waking up, if I can say, for sure you look for knowledge, you look for more knowledge about yourself also. And I think PT has reached a great, like a major divine point of who he is. So when you kind of meet someone that know who he is, it's very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a driving force for you to get to know who you really are, not the fake version of yourself that they told you were. So it can be very inspiring to get to someone who's an axis like PT. For me, it was a very inspiring journey, definitely, from the beginning to now to everything that's going to come in the future, because there's going to be more, and PT is going to be on the Truman Show on the 1st of January. So don't miss it. Make it a date. And yes, PT, definitely a great access. That's all I have to say. I'm going to have to leave soon, so I'll let you finish with that for today.
Sounds good. Yeah. Excuse me. So these things where P is referring to this axial. I know it's early in the morning. Sometimes you have to clear all the things, and the seasonal changes. Gets cold sometimes.
Yeah, it's cold. It's winter.
Exactly. But yeah, it's cool. Like, one of the things that P is really good at is looking at language, looking at letters, even down, words, and breaking them down into their etymology. And looking at this letter P, if you look at the LotusOcean website, it has, this image of a P and a T, and they kind of come together, and then the P starts spinning around, and it becomes the shape of the Ankh, from like Egypt. And P has said in the past, like the Ankh, all of the deities in the Egyptian imagery, if you see them carrying the Ankh, it means something. It means that it's a key to higher realms, to higher worlds. They know how to traverse like the celestial planes and all these things. Like they can go higher. They have the secret knowledge of life. And so, like P says, down here,
A lot of people wear it as a necklace too. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like they got the key.
Right. But like P says, the letter P is shaped as it is. It shows that it's the axis. The circle rotates around the axial line. So that's what I was mentioning. When it does that rotation, it becomes the Ankh. And when you put the T with the P, then it becomes, really that key bit. So when we're talking too about the axis, I mean, the axis, right, is everything has an axis. And like P has a song, I think it's called The Axis. It's a YouTube play, and it's a nice tunes and tones, and he's saying everything spins around the axis. The axis, everything spins around the axis, and so like we as beings, right, we have a center, we have an axis, right? We have a left side and we have a right side, and that's how like all animals even have this. That there's a symmetry, there's a divine symmetry that is that makes beings the way that they are. And so P, his main bit, his first teachings on explaining people how to start to learn how to meditate, how to center themselves, is you start doing practices in which you are centering yourself. So like you learn about doing this mudra, where you're holding left, right together. You hold it, you bring it up, you do the exercise, and then this thing is you're vibrating this central bit, and you're actually that practice actually is vibrating energies to come to the center. And all sorts of different ways in which P is teaching people, how do you actually balance yourself? How do you center yourself? You stand with equal weight on each foot. There's all different ways in which we can use the body to be more centered. Now, this is a very central axial teaching from somebody who actually knows, because he sees that actually how you hold your body on a day-to-day throughout your life, it actually affects you on a mental level, on emotional level, on a spiritual level. So you start with the physical because this is the easiest thing to control. You can't control your mind, You can't say, I'm going to stop thinking about this. Then your mind wants to think about it more sometimes, So
that's the effect of alcohol too. It will make you lose your balance.
Yeah.
When you're sober and you're straight and you don't consume all that stuff, you will walk with balance also, but start taking evil substances, and you will start walking crooked. It makes you lose your balance, your alignment and stuff. So
exactly.
Avoid those substances, definitely.
Yes.
And okay, then, Frank, we're out. You want to add something else?
Yeah, I'll just add one more last bit. And a bigger piece of this axis is that, so P teaches these simple things about how to center ourselves. That is an axial thing to know and to practice in your life to actually be centered. The larger, it's like the micro. The macro is that P is always pointing toward the Vedic way of life, And that actually, when you look at things, that is the origin of truth, of existence, and all that. It has all the answers to it. So that is the bigger piece in which P is a representative for that ultimate truth. And that's what that real axis is. It's divine. It's the center, you know.
And
So,
pointing to the ancestors, like you said, the Vedic way. And,
yeah.
It's very,
Yeah, exactly.
He's not pointing necessarily towards himself or the present time or like New Age or no, he's really Vedic
Yes.
lifestyle and stuff. So very inspiring. So that's it for today.
Yes.
We will be forward again either tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll see what.
Yeah, we'll be circling back on
That's it.
the new series. It's fun.
Until then, give thanks for life. It's always a must. Boom.
Yes.
We're up. It's all
See you
left.
the next one.
See ya.
Peace.